Welcome to the synopsis of 1986's The Fly, starring Jeff Goldblum and directed by David Cronenberg. That's my robot sound. This is Blockbuster Buffs, Boys Go Monster Mashing, synopsis. Joe?
Would you like me to take the lead on this one?
Yes. Do you have anything to add to the setup?
Nope. We got 5 minutes to tell you the entire movie.
Yeah, that's good, because I watched this earlier in the season, so I didn't get a rewatch in this week, but I'm pretty fresh. But Joe's a little fresher.
I'm as fresh as can be. Almost watched it yesterday.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we start out in a science council, not council. What's that called? Conference, science conference, where the scientist, Seth Brundle, played by Jeff Goldblum, is talking to a journalist, played by Geena Davis. Her name is Veronica. They are, at first, Seth is not great with ladies, and so he's kind of trying to flirt, but not doing a great job. She tells him she's got other places to be, but he's like, listen, I have the find of a century. You're never going to get a better story than mine. She's like, yeah, that's what 3 other guys told me tonight. He's like, no, seriously, I'm telling you the truth. So she believes him just enough to come back to his house, his apartment in this old building in the middle of nowhere, which honestly, pretty sketch for her. But
yeah.
He takes her inside. He shows her these devices, and he calls them telepods, and he begins to explain to her that he has invented teleportation.
Yes, and she doesn't believe him at all, but then she's like, okay. I mean, he just starts to explain more and more. And does she leave, or does she stay the night at this time?
He teleports her stalking first night just to prove to her that it's possible. I don't know. I think she does. I can't remember if she stays the night the first night, but
yeah,
she
either way,
is intrigued.
She ends up being there after a little while, and they teleport some meat, and he's like, yes, the inanimate objects do just fine, but the meat objects, they don't, something goes wrong, and they don't have the right je ne sais quoi, right? And so basically he recalibrates the machine for flesh one night, and she's, he's been really working on it off and on, and she's supposed to be there when he goes through it. But I believe she's out with her boss, and he gets super drunk, and then he goes through it by himself.
Correct. She is having a debate with her boss about him trying to steal the story from her, and she is basically arguing with him hey, you cannot take this from me. This is going to be a huge find, and he's an incredible genius, and her boss is kind of just a skeevy a pervert and ex-lover of hers, so he's just always trying to make a move. But Seth puts himself into the telepod, but unbeknownst to him, a fly also gets in the telepod with him at the same time. So when he first transports, he does seem perfectly fine at first, but we know something must be coming.
Yep. So he's going out on dates with, what's her face?
Veronica.
Veronica shows up. She's, enthralled with his, his new vim and vigor. He can climb on things. He's thinking, oh, this teleportation machine really, changes the way the human body is and makes, it's maybe the next stage in evolution. And his brain's running a mile a minute. He's not eating, he's not sleeping. He's just wants to have sex all the time, and then work all the time, and then do stuff all the time. He's buzzing, if you could say that.
You could.
And then he starts to get weirder and weirder and weirder and more intense. And he continues to just get more and more intense and erratic, and tries to really pressure Veronica to get into this machine and give it a try. And she's like, I don't know what you're doing. But it seems like there's some problems with you. You're getting weird hairs growing out of different places. His body starts to look kind of sicker, but he continues to feel great. So she takes a little hair with her, and Joe, you got a minute left.
All right, so she takes the hair, gets it analyzed. She finds out that he is part insect, and she, like Matt said, doesn't want to go in the telepod herself, and so they have a falling out. He gets all pissed off and is freaking out, so he goes and basically gets a hooker for the night. He tries to put her in the telepod, but she also doesn't want to do it. That's when you heard at the beginning Veronica telling the hooker to be very afraid. And then Seth continues to transform more and more. He gets grosser and grosser and grosser, bubbles and bops and all that crap all over his face. And then in a final confrontation, she comes back with her boss trying to convince Seth to go see a doctor or something. And then Seth grabs her boss and vomits all over him to make his the acid vomit make his skin bleed and bones fall apart. But in a last-ditch effort, as Seth transforms into the final fly, Veronica shoots him in the face with the shotgun.
Nice. That was our synopsis of the movie The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. If you want to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we have a podcast. It's called Blockbuster Buffs. You can also follow us on Instagram at Blockbuster Buffs, or check us out on Patreon. Like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Back to you, everybody.